Hey everyone, this is Brian. Thanks for being here. And today is a tour, not a deep dive. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by all the indicators, confused by conflicting signals, or you're tired of guessing, well, you're in the right room. If hopefully you guys have looked at our 2025 town hall, we discussed our 2026 focus being simply clarity, structure, and execution. So on this screen, you're seeing our core tools. And in the next 15 to 20 minutes, I'll explain each one of these the very same way. What it is, what it does not do, how to read it, and a few practical ways that you can use it. Also, feel free to take any screenshot that you might. And then also, you can also put comments down in the YouTube channel for questions or our Telegram if you want to go over the Telegram and send questions. I'll be more than happy to help you there. I'll say this up front, you cannot learn all of these in one day. That's why our live sessions and recordings are so important. This is a long-term commitment, and that is always a good thing. So, quick expectations before we jump in. I just want to set the tone. This is not going to be hype. We don't guarantee any sort of wins, and we're not trying to cram a full course right here in 15 to 20 minutes. So, think of today like a guided kind of walkthrough. I'm going to just help you recognize what you're looking at so you can stop feeling completely and totally lost the moment you walk into a room and see charts everywhere. So and this is just as important, you'll learn the real skill in the live sessions and recordings. And we'll continue to show those recordings. So it's reps and feedback, reps, repetition, feedback, and that's how your confidence is going to be built. So just again, this is reading the screen. I don't want to read straight from the screen. You can read yourself, but this is not a holy grail of anything. This is just a broad scope look at the tools themselves. So as we dive in, we're going to hit Sherlock, we're going to hit Atlas, Hercules, Sentinel, Strike Zone, Tide Fusion, and then I'm going to go over just a few optional ways of combining them if you want to do so. Remember, these are tools. That's all they are. So here's our roadmap. We're going to go tool by tool, nothing complicating, nothing going to be mixed up. I'm just going to explain what each tool is, how to read them, and a couple of ways to use it in a real trading plan, but I'm not going to be going over how do you set your settings up. We'll do that for another video specifically for that particular tool. So at the very end, I'll just show you a few combinations that we use, but I want to do that only after you kind of have an idea what our tools are. Okay. So let's talk Sherlock first. We call this the very foundation of our trading. Sherlock is about context. We talk about clarity. This gives us the context where the market is shown to be strong, institutional type movement before. That's what we're looking for, footprints. Here's the key. Zones do not guarantee a winning trade. Sherlock isn't predicting anything. It's not a predicting machine. It simply marks area where price moved with unusual strength, which can matter when price returns back to it. It's called order flow. We talk about that if you are any type of investor, order flow. But basically, we're looking for footprints. So for the newer traders, Sherlock is going to help you reduce the guesswork of where big money and institution might be, where might price react, or where is the risk higher? Where do I have a confirmation that my setup makes sense? So think of Sherlock as kind of a flashlight. It doesn't force your decision. It helps you actually see it a little bit better. So, again, we'll talk specifically about it, but definitely take a screenshot of this if to give you a better perspective of what we're talking about. But I want to dive just a little bit deeper because when you come into a room, a trade room, and somebody is using Sherlock and you see this, it's very, very confusing. So I do want to go over what the zone colors are. So pink is strong supply or resistance, if you use the word resistant, and price hasn't been back to that area yet. And you'll see the same thing on the green. Green is strong demand or support, where price hasn't been back there yet. So keep in mind order flow. If there's a sale going on and they have 100 pieces of product they're trying to sell and they're selling at a very, very cheap rate, that will go very, very quickly. But if they announce 2 weeks later that they're going to do the same sale, people at that same price, people rush to buy it again. So that's kind of order flow. So orange and gray, when you see orange and gray and on our screen, you don't see orange and gray. You see gray, but not the orange. That tells you something important as well. Those zones have been touched or breached, but it doesn't mean they're absolutely useless. It just means that the market proved itself, especially if it moved away from there as a strong area of support or demand. So you want to keep those key price points in mind. So practical use. Um, Let price come to the zone. That's what you're, especially for our beginners. Let price come to that zone. That doesn't mean the zone is the first zone you see you're going to take a trade on. Not necessarily. You still have to have context. So then once you let price come back to the zone, apply your strategy rules, whatever that is. Trend, timing, and confirmation needs to be included in that. And if it's clean, then you take the trade and you walk away with no regrets. If it's not, just pass it, leave it go, and move on to the next trade. So that's how you trade with peace instead of that panic that we all seem to go against. Again, this is not deep dive into Sherlock, but it gives you an idea of what it does. Then Atlas. Atlas is a it came from a lot of pain, built on when I blew up my account. I went back to foundational stuff. So Atlas is really kind of the market map. A lot of traders lose money simply because they don't know where they are on the charts. We hear about location. They either enter too late, they enter too close, or they get surprised by an obvious level that they did not recognize was there. Atlas helps you organize that market using thirds. So if you're familiar with the quarters theory, it's similar to that, but it's been broken down into thirds, and it's using a Fibonacci calculation within it. So it has some Fibonacci behavior. So just know, again, read those boxes for yourself. It does not replace price action or confirmation. It doesn't mean price is going to stop at every line. Usually you have a little overshoot. It does not remove the need for your own personal risk management. It just adds some clarity to it. So when you see the map, you can calm down. It will actually give you better target projections. It will give you cleaner stop placements potentially, and it definitely makes trading a less emotional. So then we go into a little bit, what do the colors mean? And I put those on the screen so you can take a screenshot of that as well. But blue lines basically, in theory, are the strongest of the extremes. So the higher, if you're looking at this portion up here, you're going to be looking to short. Down here, you want to go long, but that doesn't mean you can't go long in here. I'm just saying broad scope thinking. It's the outer edges. The blue is often the outer edges. And that's usually where price seems to go a little bit wacky, gets a little bit more emotional. The green lines are obviously demand or support first. That's where the strong demand or support is first. But then they do become resistance if it breaks through. So it's still key points. Okay. Same thing with the red lines. They're strong resistance or supply, and they can also become support after a clean breakout and retest. So use Atlas kind of like this. If don't guess your targets. Um, don't guess where the trouble might be. The map can actually tell you a little bit more about it. And again, these are tools, they're not predictors, and they're not always exactly precise, but you can see right here where on the green line price is seemingly like a magnet coming back to it. So that's how Atlas does work. When we go to Hercules, Hercules is a great tool, great tool. It's straightforward, it's powerful, and it scores currency strength. So you can answer crucial questions within your trading plan. Am I trading with strength or am I trading against it? So many traders will lose simply by buying weak and selling strong. And it's not because they're bad people or they don't have information or they're unintelligent. It's because the charts can be deceptive. So Hercules brings that clarity we talk about. When you see a separation, a strong currency versus a weak currency, the probability of your trade working out improves. And that's what you want, that edge. So when everything is all tangled and flat, when you look at all this mess in here, it's tangled or moving flat, that's often a sign just to sit back, sit on your hands, and be patient. So again, Hercules is very powerful. So I want to make sure that I'm very, very clear on this. It's going to add confidence when you use it the proper way within context. It is not a standalone event trigger. So if you see a 7 score, that doesn't mean immediately get in it because you may be buttoned up against a resistance zone or you may be at an Atlas point. So it's not a standalone trigger. It won't save your bad risk management. It just won't do it. Um, and it doesn't remove the need for you having a plan and confirmation of that trade. So that is Hercules. And this is how you simply read them, not hard. Um, it, Look for the separation. I like a minimum of 3 point separations, usually what goes for me. Sometimes I use a four. Anything higher than that's just bonus. Um, Best opportunities often show trends and not noise. So if the score's tight, sit on your hands. Okay. And these are comparing the seven majors that we use. So it helps you avoid the chop. So here's the simplest way to use Hercules. I would say rule one, don't force the trade when the strength is unclear. That's easy to put in the trade plan. Rule two, love the separation. Love the separation. Strong versus weak is your friend. Okay. And then rule three that you can put down in your trade plan is use it as confirmation or context, and not as a magic button. And I'll talk about that here in a bit, but use it as confirmation. If you're a newer trader, this alone can reduce over trading. And we talked about that in our town hall. A lot of over traders because it gives you permission to pass when the conditions aren't aligned. So when those scores don't score high enough, you feel confident, okay, I'm passing for a reason, not because I want to, that FOMO that Al always mentions about. Let's go into Sentinel trading system now. Sentinel trading system is a full-blown trade system. It is one of our flagship systems for scalping and day trading. Notice the language I used at the top, quality first, not quantity. People seem to think when they get something that can provide an alert that they have to take every trade. This is for the trader who is tired of taking every trade, and you want that clarity, you want the structure, and an easy way to execute. So Sentinel aims to kind of filter out the noise. Now you can make it as noisy as you want. There's a lot of stuff into Sentinel as far as behind the scenes settings that you can turn on and off. I've shown you a couple pieces of it to show you that it does have more than just a buy and sell. You can highlight cleaner moments. It supports execution and time. And it even has a golden box down here. If you notice the golden box, that gives you, based on your inputs, a proper risk management segment for you to, when you do enter a trade, you use the proper risk management. You'll see signals like buy and pulse. Pulse is a reversion, but we always treat those as prompts to confirm, not permission to gamble. And the intent is when you get a buy flag or a sell flag, the very next candle you enter. Okay. It's an immediate. You got to be paying attention. So, and just to be clear, Sentinel is not a swing tool. It's built strictly for environments on the 5 minute and 15-minute chart. And then how you'll see it on the chart, it does two big jobs mainly. It helps you see the opportunities through signals and structure, which is key. And then it's going to help you execute with the discipline through the sessions timing and risk. And you'll see more about that when we go diving into that, what it means session timing. If you've ever said, I know what to do, I just can't do it consistently, this system is built for that problem, but it still requires your maturity. You can confirm the setup, you honor the time window, you size correctly, you don't revenge trade, and then when you're consistently doing and following those rules, you'll find that you will be consistent as well. And then we go to Sentinel Strike Zone. This is for our people who have a real busy life, jobs, kids, meetings, lots of people can't stare at charts all day. I'm one of them. I'm a fourth grade teacher. So honestly, staring all day usually leads me to overtrading. So Strike Zone sends alerts to your Telegram based on the settings that we make per week, based on our settings for the weekly report. I may edge it up a little bit, the weekly report, and change some things if I see something, but it is our settings. It's the tap on the shoulder that says, hey, take a look at the chart. Something's happening here. You might want to be looking at this formation. But I want to make very, very clear, alerts do not replace confirmation. That's where people fail. They want a system that will send them alert and they could take a trade without thought. That is not what this is. That is basically something you want to do with copy trading, where somebody else is taking the trade and they're doing it all for you. You cannot take an alert and simply walk away and just say, hey, there's alert. It means go. That's not it. You have to have confirmation. You need to have a trade plan. So basically, when you get an alert, you need to open your chart, check what session it's in, confirm your rules first, and size the trade correctly. And if it's not clean, just walk away. That's maturity in trading. That is good stewardship. So this is a very dangerous tool if not used properly. So I've got a little plan for you guys if you're using Strike Zone. When you get an alert on your phone, pause for 10 seconds and don't react emotionally. That's the biggest thing. And then I put some more things there that you can take a screenshot for if you're going to be using Strike Zone. But this is the whole heart of Strike Zone. If you follow this simple routine, alerts become a blessing and not a curse. If you ignore the routine, alerts are going to become a temptation and you become a gambler. And then you blame the system for it when it's not the system. So keep it real simple. Pause, confirm, size, execute, or pass. And passing is not failing. Passing is often what protects your account. So you do still need to know what the trade plan of Traide Masters is within Strike Zone. I've been a part of a lot of alert systems that I just took the trade based on the alert, and I had no context. So we preach context here. You must understand what does the system do, and we're giving you that opportunity. Okay, because we trade it, we record Sentinel all the time, and Strike Zone is Sentinel with our settings, with our time frame. So be very, very cautious with Strike Zone. It's a wonderful tool if used properly. And then we've got Tide Fusion. And Tide Fusion is our swing tool, and it's intentionally very clean. There's not a lot on our screen. This is for the trader who wants fewer decisions, less noise, and a more deliberate pace. That doesn't mean low profitability. It means you're trading with intention. So on 4-hour charts, clarity does matter. You don't want 10 indicators that are going back and forth arguing with each other. You want to see the trend, you want to manage the risk, and you want to stay patient. That doesn't mean you can't add some of our other tools to overlay, but you don't want to get them arguing with each other. Tide Fusion supports that kind of mindset where it's clean, simple. Okay. And then we go into, and I didn't couldn't squeeze this all the way in, but I got it in there for you guys. On the chart, Tide Fusion is meant to be very, very obvious. Green ribbon and green lines are bullish. Red ribbons, red lines are bearish. The buy and sell markers are not a promise or a guarantee. They're a prompt only. You still need to have a plan. So this is basically when you get a flag, it says, hey, conditions may be shifting in your favor. Check out your plan to see if it fits. Go check the chart. And being that it's on a 4-hour chart, you don't have to do it immediately. That's the beauty. So for swing traders, the biggest enemy is the noise and impatience. And this tool is a big help to make sure you see the big picture and execute with peace. Okay. And I'm just going to take a quick moment to talk about this optional steps that you can take. If you scalp, I like to use Sentinel with Hercules. We've also seen it with Atlas, having some context in there. And remember, day trading and scalping are lower percentage win rates. More people lose money doing those two types of trading than they do with swing. 15 minutes is, I think scalping, the number was 93% of scalpers lose money. And my bet is because they don't have clarity, structure, and execution, they don't stay with their plan. It gets to be the dopamine. So add something to your Sentinel that gives you some clarity. I like Hercules. So that's just my opinion. And if you swing trade, again, Tide Fusion is very, very clear and clean, but you could add Atlas or Sherlock in there to give some options of clarity. Nothing wrong with that. So here's my encouragement. Don't try to master all six in one week. Commit to a process of learning in 2026. Show up either live or even if you have to. Better live. It's better live if you can show up. And then ask questions. Ask the community. And then rewatch videos. And then ask questions. That's how traders grow. That's how confidence is built. If you sit back and don't ask questions, you will kind of fade away. And so commit to that you'll be involved in the live settings as well as the recordings that we provide for you, because we know that everybody's time cannot be found live. So we do provide you with recordings that you can go back and rewatch. And that's when the questions become even more important. Again, this is for those who will be watching that are not members of Traide Masters. That Telegram channel is our general Telegram channel. It is not our members Telegram. The broker that we use, it's not a requirement. It's not even advice. It's just the one we use because we always have the question being asked. That's the team link for that account there. TradingView, if you don't have a TradingView and you'd like a TradingView, that's our team link for TradingView as well. And then definitely follow us on YouTube if you're not already subscribed. Subscribe. Make sure you comment in the sections what you thought about the video. Give it a thumbs up. That's always a good thing to help us expand YouTube and the functionality that we have there. And then don't forget to follow us on Instagram as well. Guys, that is our session. Be looking for individual tools shortly. A little deeper dive in each one of them. We'll provide those as well. So God bless. Take care.